Hi, everybody. So good to see you. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here with me today. This is February 16th, Sunday. I hope you've been having a wonderful weekend. Hope you've been watching the videos I've been putting out. Welcome in, welcome back. We are going to be discussing the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. I was watching a show the other day, and there was a character, and their legs kept giving out on them, and they kept falling to the ground. And I had on the closed captions. And each time the person's body hit the ground, the closed captions described that in all caps with the word thud. And I thought, interesting, thud, 3 times. Thud, such a paramount word in the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And it'll be 1 year mark of when he was reported missing, February 26th, in 10 days from today. He was home alone with his mother, Katie Proudfoot, by all reports, and in her words, at 6 a.m., I woke him up, but he wasn't there. Yes, odd statement, but nonetheless, her words. Sebastian's mom, KP, used the word thud, a sound she heard coming from Sebastian's bedroom the night he went missing. Now remember, in the show I watched, thud described a body hitting the ground, all caps, each time that body hit the ground. A sound she heard coming from Sebastian's bedroom the night he went missing, yet she did not check on him to make sure he was okay. She is the only person who heard that thud, allegedly. A thud is a dull sound, that of a heavy object striking a solid surface. A blow or fall causing such a sound. Falling or hitting a surface. The sound of an object hitting the ground or a wall. So we only have a few options here once the thud's introduced. We have 2 people in the home, Sebastian and KP. So there's only a few options. Sebastian's in the room alone and he dropped something heavy. Sebastian took a hard fall and hit the ground. Sebastian threw something at the wall and it made a thud sound, heavy sound. Someone pushed Sebastian into a wall, or Sebastian thrown into a wall, fell into a wall, and it made a thud. That would require someone being in the room with him, possibly. And that would be, according to his mother's narrative, it would have to be his mother, KP. If he was perhaps pushed or thrown down or into a wall. Thud. Thud. Think of what it means. The word Sebastian's mother did not introduce in her fluctuating narrative and timeline of events until over 3 weeks after Sebastian disappeared. Red flag. A word that began described as noises, like playing in his room. Noises, playing in his room. Why did she work her way from that to a thud? Drastic escalation, in my opinion. A jump in descriptors. What made KP go there to thud? Close your eyes. And when I say you're hearing a noise, there's a noise. What are you envisioning? I envision a car driving by, a ball bouncing, kids running, and laughing. How about you? Okay, now close your eyes. A loud thud. What do you see in your mind? I see something slamming into a wall. I see someone falling to the ground. What do you see? Is there a difference to you in what you bring up when you really think and pull up images of what noise means in your mind and what thud means? Because we're talking about a child's life, and the last night he was allegedly in his home. So it's important. And it's such a drastic escalation from noises. So somewhere on step between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m., which we also have inconsistent timelines that fluctuate, which is a red flag. And it's an absolute shame KP did not go in that room and check on him so she could tell us what his well being was after that thud. Or did she go in and check? Was she in there during the thud? Was someone else in there allegedly and she was aware? Why was she fearful of revealing the thud story at first? To wait for over 3 weeks? Or was it that it was fabricated and added into the narrative, allegedly? So, if Sebastian was located, it could explain an injury, possibly. Or, more likely, in my opinion, if there was a loud noise in the home on Stafford Court on February 25th or the early hours of February 26th, and possibly someone was worried, the neighbors or someone heard it, they would be able to explain it away. Kind of like the 2-inch flashlight in that big house. Of everything there, they realized that was missing. And I think that item, allegedly, in my opinion, and form your own always, was put in his hand when he left in during the narrative because there were flashlights in the backyard and there needed to be an explanation. Is that why thud was introduced? Worried someone may have heard something and trying to give an explanation for it? Analysis report that the thud time may be a critical time, like Peter Hyatt spoke of it, in what happened to Sebastian. The time frame, 9 to 10 p.m., 10 to 12. Based on the meaning of the word, it's critical. And KP introducing it into the narrative weeks into the search for her son is quite alarming. There's a $250,000 reward. Sebastian is on the FBI most wanted. We need to bring him home. Those responsible, those who know something, those who saw something, those who heard something, please report it now because someone will be reporting you. Do it first. Do it first. Do it for Sebastian. Do it first. And if you can't do it for Sebastian, do it for the reward. Ponder thud. Isolate it from the case. Think about what it means to you, and then insert it into the case. And think about now where you go when you hear that. And the alibi. One person putting themselves able to hear the thud, be in the house with the thud. One person reports that. Is the thud relevant? I think so, because it was fabricated possibly, or if not, added later. Why? A dull sound striking a solid surface, a heavy object striking a solid surface, a blow or fall causing such a sound. KP has the knowledge. She was in the house. She's the key. She's evoked her fifth. She's not speaking. Rather than providing crucial information to assist in determining what happened to her son, she's not speaking, which is her civil right. But yet it's so confusing when your child's life's on the line. Sullivan County, Tennessee, Megan Boswell case just happened and Evelyn received justice. Her mother is going to prison for life with the possibility of parole. But also in Tennessee, Sullivan County, during that search, she was lying to law enforcement, fabricating stories. Stories were changing, and they arrested her a few days after they realized Evelyn was missing, and they arrested her for lying to investigators. She never left jail all these years. That first arrest on that lying to law enforcement, and then it led to many other arrests later on. She never got out in 5 years, and now she won't. But they arrested her for that. And then, as they gathered information, and it was months, they charged her. And then just 8 months ago, they charged her with premeditation. So it's possible to arrest someone on something and add to their charges. And I wish that would occur in this case. Imagine how messy it is now, because you have to think about it. They did something in Sullivan County. Why aren't we doing something in Sumner County? Unless you have something to gain from letting them run around. And I don't see that in an investigative point, because they're not being watched that closely from what I know or hear. Sumner County Sheriff's Office knows what they could be doing. But in my opinion, it would open a can of worms, possibly, if they did it. If they put her behind bars, what's that going to cause? Is there something going on in that small town that it could cause allegedly retaliation from others? Someone knowing something, someone having something on someone? You know, many of the players in this horrid crime have spent their whole lives in Sumner County. Imagine how messy that could be, with authority figures over friends, relationships, neighbors, who knows, right? Knowledge, information, fear. In my opinion, someone has something on someone. Or an arrest could have been made for fabricating to investigators during an investigation. But why hasn't there been? Megan Boswell was put behind bars for fabricating. Casey Anthony was as well. Why not Sebastian's mother? Just asking. I'd love to know, because she said thud. She was home. She's changed her stories. She's inconsistent. Why is law enforcement? What power does KP have? What is she holding? We know she's holding the key to information, but what else might she be holding that keeps that arrest from happening? Because she is the key. Why did she introduce the thud? Who caused the thud? According to her alibi, it had to be her or Sebastian. Sebastian's not here to tell us yet. So she needs to speak up. This is her child. You don't worry about being silent. The fifth is so you don't incriminate yourself. You've now shared, allegedly, in my opinion, that if you speak, you incriminate yourself. How could you incriminate yourself if you have nothing to do with your son's disappearance? A loud blow, heavy fall, possibly heavy bang into a surface, a wall. Well, KP, we know what a thud is. Now tell us what it was. Hit that notification bell, friends, for updates. Thank you so much for being here. KP, we know what a thud is. Now tell us what it was on February 25th, 2024. Talk soon.